Here's how the blue snowball comes out of the box. As you can see, the cable just runs out of the back of it and lies on the desk. I got this cheap boom off of Amazon, however I don't like the mounting system because there's no room for adjustment. So I started off this project by getting a 10-inch piece of scrap wood that I drilled 3 holes into. All these holes are about 4 inches apart. I then drilled 3 perpendicular holes for a bolt to pass through. I used a dowel to eliminate blowout. Here I'm taking 3 nuts and sanding them and then epoxying them. Sanding them allows for the epoxy to get a better stick. And then to make it so they didn't shift around during clamping, I just threw some super glue under them. I then came back and went all the way around with epoxy. Let me preface this clip by saying that I know that this is not the right tool for this job. However, I think it'll work out fine. To make the knob, I just took this scrap from a hole saw and split it in half because it was too thick. To ensure that my bolt that goes through the knob does not get too thick, I put an oversized nut as a spacer and then used the correct size nut just to lock everything down into place. So the resin is now inside and should be solidifying around this nut, or bolt rather, so that my knob is just one nice piece. Here I'm making some pilot holes to attach this mic stand to my desk, and then I came back and countersunk them so that the heads would sit flush. For the painting, I started off with a latex primer and then moved over to spray paint because it was a lot simpler and I could get better coverage. I used spackle to get rid of some of the imperfections of the knob, and then threw the knob into the chuck of my drill and just went around with some sandpaper. This provided a really smooth finish that looks pretty good with paint on it. Here you can see me using the primer on both the mic stand and the knob. And then for the mic stand I used a semi-gloss white, and for the knob I used a black, and then followed that with a Plasti-Dip black. And here's just me driving the screws in. I pre-drilled because I have a cheap IKEA desk and I didn't want it to have any odd bumps or blowout. So here's the finished product. As you can see, I have about 10 inches of movement that I can do. I can put the mic stand all the way back, and that gives me a lot more desk space to work with. I can put the mic stand in the middle, which is where I prefer at the moment, and that just keeps it slightly away from me while I can still have enough desk space and see my monitor well enough. And the closest one is if I need to see everything on the monitor perfectly clear. So overall, great improvement, really cheap. I could have made this look a lot better had I not used wood from my burn pile, but in the end it does what I need it to do, and I'm satisfied with it. So thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of this.